One of the biggest misconceptions with policy loans is that you're not borrowing your own money. One of the biggest misconceptions around policy loans with whole life insurance is that you're borrowing your own money. And a lot of financial entertainers out there would say, well, why would anyone pay interest to borrow their own money? And that couldn't be farther from the truth. And that's exactly what we're going to go over. So how do policy loans actually work with a whole life insurance policy? So for example, let's say you have $100,000 in your cash value. And I'll put a little box around the cash value here, and I'll put, might be hard to see, but I'll put CV. You have $100,000 in your cash value. There's an opportunity that popped up. Let's say you need $50,000 to invest in XYZ thing. It could be anything that you want. $50,000. So this is where people get it wrong. You're not borrowing your own $100,000 in your policy and having to pay interest to do that. What's actually going to happen is this $100,000 in cash value, you'll go to the insurance carrier that your policy's with and you'll request a loan against the cash value amount. Okay, so if I wanted $50,000, so I'll put down here minus, indicating loan, minus $50,000. That's the loan right there. How am I getting that money? The insurance carrier, I'll just put a little square in a building, that's supposed to be a building. The insurance carrier is gonna loan me that $50,000 from their general fund. Okay, so again, to repeat this, because there's a lot of misconception around it, they're not touching your $100,000 in your cash value. They're loaning you $50,000 of their money, okay? So insurance carrier loans you that $50,000, there's no free lunch, there's no free lunch, so there's gonna be an interest rate on that $50,000. Typically what you'll see, every carrier is different, the loan rates can change, around 5%. Is pretty standard. Now, side note on the loan interest rate, depending on the product, the carrier you're with, the contract will say what the maximum loan rate could be. Most of the time it's around 8%. So it's a bit of a side note, but it's important to know, it's like, okay, this rate can change, but you know it's not gonna exceed 8% or whatever the number is in the contract. So that's just an important thing to keep in mind. But anyway, insurance carriers loaning you their money, in this case, $50,000 at 5%, your $100,000, the full $100,000 is still gonna be in the cash value and it's gonna be earning interest and dividends on it. Why is that important? Because you're not, even though you have a $50,000 loan against it, your balance doesn't drop to $50,000 where you're only earning interest and dividends on the $50,000. You're earning interest and dividends on the full bucket of money as if you never touched it. And that's why this is a very powerful tool for doing the infinite banking concept. And I have other videos on this. So $50,000 at 5%, your full $100,000 earning interest and dividends on it. Let's call it, I'll put it over here. Let's call it 4%. And that 4% is the net or the IRR that you're receiving on that. So that's side note on that, which is very important, is that's the guaranteed rate plus the dividends minus insurance costs and fees, you're netting 4%. And that's pretty reasonable over time to see within these policies if they're set up properly. So this $50,000 loan, you can go and invest that wherever you want. Let's say you put it into you're lending the money out, right? So you take that $50,000 at 5%, you lend it out, and let's say you were able to lend it out at, let me erase this real quick, $, you put a percent, you lent it out at 12%, okay? So remember, you're earning 4 in the policy, you're charged 5% interest on the $50,000 loan, and you lent it out at 12. So that $50,000, there's some napkin math here. You lent it out at 12, your loan cost is 5, you're walking away with 7, and then we gotta add the 4% in the policy, plus 4%, it's hard to see. That's an 11% return. Where am I getting that number from? Remember, you're earning money in 2 spots. Because when you take the loan against the cash value, you're using the insurance carrier's money, your full bucket of money in your cash value is intact, earning the interest and dividends. So you earned 4% in the policy. That's place number one where you're earning money. And place number two in this case is you lent the money out and you got a return there, which happened to be 7% after your loan costs. So you take 7% and the 4% in your policy, you earned 11%. Now that's an oversimplification of it, but I just want to get the point, I want to drive the point home that you are not using your own money, you're using the insurance carrier's money, and you have the ability to make money in two different spots at the same exact time. So that's why it's so powerful, because you're literally mimicking what a bank does. You deposit money in the bank, they have to pay you 1% or whatever the rate is on your checking or savings account, and then they go out and immediately lend that money out to make more money. And then with the money they make, they pay you that 1% interest. It's the same idea here, except you're the one who's in control. You're mimicking or you're modeling the bank in this scenario, and the insurance carrier is the one that is loaning you the money. That's the difference. So just in recap, let me wipe this down. $100,000 cash value is gonna be earning that 4% in this scenario. You have the $50,000 loan at 5%. Something really important to know about how the loans work with whole life insurance with a mutual carrier, let me add that in there, is these loans, there's a few different things. Number one, there's no credit check to get the loan, okay? You have the contractual right to get loans against your policy. They can't deny you for whatever reason, unlike traditional financing where you can be denied if your credit sucks and a multitude of different reasons they could come up with as to why you can't get a loan. That's not the case when you're getting a loan against your whole life insurance policy. The third thing, I think that's the third thing, right? Yeah, the third thing is the repayment schedule of the loans. That's very, very powerful. You do not have a repayment schedule. The life insurance carrier that your policy's with, they're not going to be like, you have to pay this $50,000 loan back over the next 60 months at this rate, or at this amount rather, because the interest rate, you have that interest rate. But that's important to note, because where else out there can you get a loan and have full say of, I want to pay it back on my terms, I'm going to pay it back this way. If I decide not to pay it back, I technically don't have to do that, and I'll dive into that in a minute. That's the power of these loans. You're truly in the driver's seat when it comes to your financing needs. So you have this $50,000 loan, you could break it up however you want. You could say, I'm going to pay it back over 5 years, I'm going to pay it back over 10 years. Does not matter. And let's say you don't want to pay it back at all, which I'm not advising to do that. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but technically you don't have to pay the loan back. Here's why. Remember, this is life insurance at the end of the day. So yeah, the cash value, we're talking about that. It's a big focus. But remember, with a life insurance policy, you're also going to have a death benefit that's attached to the policy, because that's life insurance. The reason why you don't have to pay back that $50,000 loan in this case is because of the death benefit. The death benefit, the insurance carrier has to pay that out at some point in time whenever you pass away, or whoever the insured is on the policy. Whenever that individual passes away, the insurance carrier is on the hook to pay out that death benefit to their heirs. So the insurance carrier knows we're going to get our money back at some point or later. So that $50,000, they don't require you to pay it back, because let's say you didn't repay that loan back. And just to keep math simple, let's say you have a $500,000 death benefit, $500,000 DB, and you kick the can, you pass away, and you have a $50,000 outstanding loan balance. This is what's going to happen. Insurance carriers gonna be like, well, we owe your family or whoever you're leaving the money to, we owe them $500,000. You kick the can with a balance of $50,000. So we're just gonna take this $50,000 off the death benefit and pay out $450,000, $450K. So that's why you don't have to repay the loans technically, because the insurance carriers know at some point in time they're gonna get their money back. Just obviously they don't know when. No one knows when except for God. But that's a really important notation though, because again, that's what allows you to have full control over these loans. Again, to recap the different components of the loan is you can access it at any point in time. There's no credit checks. I left this out, but they don't ask you what you're using the money for. Does not matter. They're not going to ask you. You can get the money usually within 3 to 5 business days after requesting the loan, so it's pretty quick. And then lastly, the repayment schedule. There is none. You can dictate how you want to go about paying the loan back. So I'll give an example. So if you're a business owner, and let's say you took a loan, that $50,000 loan out to invest into marketing, and let's say it didn't go to plan, things went, your cash flow dropped for a period of time, and you're like, shoot, I don't have the cash flow that I thought I was going to get from making that investment to pay back the loan plus the interest. Well, you don't have to sweat it. You can pause repayments for a period of time. That could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years. It doesn't matter, as long, let's say it's 2 years it took you to really stabilize your cash flow to get to a point where you can start paying this loan back. Does not matter. It does not matter. As long as your policy's in force, then you don't have to worry about anything happening. And that segues into the worst case scenario. So what truly is the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is, and this is why I wouldn't recommend not paying your loans back unless it just happened to be something like you're in a cash flow crunch and you absolutely can't make repayments. That's a different scenario than, because the intention was to pay it back, but then life happens, business circumstances happen to where you couldn't repay the loan back the way you intended. That's the important distinction, is the intention was to pay it back. Now, if things went sideways, then you could pause the repayment for a couple years and get back on track. Doesn't matter. All right. Now, if the policy lapses, that's where I was going with this. If the policy lapses, this is what would happen. Let me erase this real quick. So this is the worst case scenario. Let's say you had that $100,000 cash value that you built up. I'll put CV, and you had a $500,000 death benefit. These are just rough numbers, right? Just to show the example. So you have $100,000 in your cash value, you have $500,000 worth of insurance coverage or your death benefit, and you had a $50,000 loan on your policy. Let's say this policy lapsed. What happens if it lapses? You lose the $100,000, you lose the money that you put into the policy, you obviously lose all the insurance benefits because you no longer have the policy, it's not in force, it lapsed. And on top of that, your $50,000 loan balance, or whatever your loan balance is, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax professional, you're gonna have to pay income tax on the loan balance. So that's truly the worst case scenario, is your policy lapses, you got a outstanding loan balance, and you're gonna have to figure out how to pay that somehow. So I wanted to go over that because a lot of people skimp over that, and I truly believe it needs to be said and needs to be transparent. Like, that is the worst case scenario. And that's why when you're utilizing policy loans and you're practicing the infinite banking concept using a whole life insurance policy, you need to be smart with why and how you're going to use those policy loans. And you need to be, if you read the book, Becoming Your Own Banker by Nelson Nash, you need to be an honest banker and pay yourself back. Very, very important. And again, you technically don't have to pay the loans back. There are scenarios where you can make that work. You don't pay the loans back and then you pass away, and then, like we went over, the loan balance comes off your death benefit, but you shouldn't be in that frame of thinking, okay? If it happened, again, life circumstances come up and you can't make loan repayments and things of that nature, then that's a different conversation. But your intention should always be to pay the loan back with interest to the insurance carrier. All right? So I hope you guys got value from today's video. Again, I wanted to clear up a big misconception out there on how policy loans work. Again, you are not borrowing your own money. You're borrowing against your cash value, and the insurance carrier is lending you their money from their general fund. Meanwhile, while you have that loan from the insurance carrier to use to invest or do whatever you want with, your full cash value is still going to be earning interest. And if it's with a mutual insurance carrier, which we always recommend, you'll be earning dividends as well on that full bucket of money. That's very important to notate. But anyway, hope you got value from today's video. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions on this at all, I know we got a bit in the weeds today, leave them in the comments below, or you can message me on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram in the description of the video. And then lastly too, in the description of the video at the top, you're gonna see my calendar. If you wanna learn more about this, see if the infant banking concept makes sense for you, book a day and time with me, we'll chat, and we'll see if it makes sense. But other than that, appreciate you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. God bless.